I never want to drive one of these rallies, ever. KINCROME acknowledges the traditional owners of this land on which we race and film on today. It is known that this land always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We acknowledge and give thanks to the elders past, present and emerging, and any Aboriginal people viewing this production.
We're gonna go pick up a phone booth. Let's make a move.
He's navigating, we've got no chance.
We have engaged the lovely team at Proxima to help build us a grab for cash phone booth type thing where you stand in it and try and grab yourself some blue bucks.
And we're gonna test it on the day, because that's how we do things. Well, I think the first mod that this van needs, other than the beautiful wrap, is a set of methods and probably a 2-inch lift kit. Because we've just learned that's way worse than I thought it was.
Can't park there. Hey, you. You can't park there.
Dude, that's a bull.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why are we relocating? Because the race team's late. Again. No, that's actually... we can just use that as an excuse for everything. Why did we do this? The race team's late again.
I think Marshall said it's because of the race team. So I'm just doing whatever he said.
The party's here. I'm super excited. It's only me and Dad competing. Good to see ya.
There he is, in all his glory.
Why Condo 750?
Come on, Jono, where's my hug, mate?
There's a few reasons. A, it's a rally. B, it fits in with our schedule in between the AORC events that we want to do as well. And C, it's something I can do with my daughter in the car.
I'm going to be jumping in as a navvy for Dad rather than being behind the wheel. So it's going to be interesting. Hopefully the trust is strong enough there and we'll smash it, is the real aim.
You had a bit of experience in Kalgoorlie with Eden as a navvy in a nighttime shootout race.
She was thrown in the deep end there, to be fair enough, because if you actually go back and look at that footage, she wasn't doing any co-driving. No.
Ask Dad, I don't think it's for me.
We were laughing so much because she can't see. She's going, fast left one, and we're coming into a hairpin. So it's like a left 4.
That was a 4!
That was definitely as a highlight of my racing, because she'd never actually been in the car with me. When she was a kid, we used to take her in the rally car, but you know, she was so young. But to actually do an event where she's going to co-drive, I think that's pretty special.
Jacko's obviously super embarrassed because I beat him so many times last year, so we're subbing him into the pits.
Dad and my sister are actually racing, so I'll be going there just to support them as a mechanic. I reckon Dad's going to do quite well. Having the rally roads, he will do well at, because he's pretty nuts. And all the blind stuff where people will check up, he won't. I don't know, at the same time, super long event, he's going to have to not go too silly, because 700 Ks and yeah, you've got 699 to lose the race. I think it's 750 actually, or is it 800? I don't know. How many is it? Just keep smashing numbers out.
Definitely did an apprenticeship. You can tell by the way you hold the broom.
I'm just trying to make it work.
That's awesome. Thanks, boys. Thanks for supporting Condo, man.
Yeah, we appreciate being here. So. I'm pumped. That worked so good. It worked awesome. It's going to be a good time.
Very excited. Thank you. Thanks, KINCROME.
G'day, my name's Cooper Van Vliet. I'm the owner of Native Concepts. It's a graphic company. I'm a professional motocross rider, desert race rider as well. I just got to have a normal job as well to make sure I can cover all the bills of racing. I started racing when I was 4, started riding when I was 2. I've got 3 older brothers and we've always raced and that sort of stuff. I've got a pretty stacked calendar this year. Obviously we're starting off with Condo 750. That's sort of my first navigation rally event. The first time I ever really met everybody from KINCROME was down at Finke. Finke always is that one event that everybody wants to do. Down at the Finke end, we needed a little bit of help. And it was kind of just a good sort of carefree environment. Everyone sort of took the mick out of each other, but pretty much everyone was friends. Didn't know half their names, but felt like I knew them for years.
So I'm sitting in the passenger seat, which is going to be, honestly, it's going to be so funny. I know Dad, and I know he's not going to hold back just because his daughter's in the car. He'll probably go even harder.
It's our new number, 228. 228. I'm just going through scrutineering at the moment, so they're just checking all the safety stuff on the car and basically making sure that it's up to reg.
Is it looking good?
Look at the beast, it's bloody on point.
We'll be running the new Polaris Turbo R, and we think it's going to be absolutely unreal. It'll be the second event for the car. So we've got a lot of learning to do with the new platform, but we believe in it. We're running a bigger tyre this year, so we've gone to a 35-inch tyre, which is super exciting. So it's starting to turn into a really big car. In the States, they've been able to keep wheel brands in them and the cars have hung on and get really good results. So we're just going to see if they hold up. It shouldn't be a problem, but time's going to tell. We don't know. New platform, new year, there's new stuff. So we're excited. We're excited to see how it's going to go.
This is like a mini Dakar scenario, except we're actually on dirt roads and trails. They're definitely very secondary roads.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect, to be honest. Hopefully Dad explains it, but I mean, he's probably not. He'll just let me figure it out on my own.
Well, this is my first Condo. It is based on a rally format, which is something that I do have a bit of experience at.
Just a bit?
I'm just looking forward to getting out on the roads and having a bit of fun and seeing if you can actually read the road book.
I'll see if I can actually see the road. I will not be wearing my glasses.
Got here at 3 this morning. The way I got here was had some videos playing in the car and watched the whole KINCROME side-by-side series on the way here. It was actually good. Got some notes like don't run out of belts, team, because we did think and we didn't have enough belts, so we've made sure we've got enough belts, so that problem's out of the way. Just chucking them in behind each seat.
So what we're doing here is Paul and the crew, or Paul and the legends at Max Tracks have got on board with our race team and getting a bit of sponsorship going on as well. And as we do off-road racing, and that's what we do well, Max Tracks come in really handy. To be fair, we don't really get the buggy bog too often, but if you've seen a few of the episodes in the past, we definitely need those Max Tracks to save us. We've had it Evo bogged multiple times. We've had the van bogged heaps of times. So we're going to make sure all the vehicles have got Max Tracks out on the track so we can save ourselves if we need to. But just getting the stickers on the car now, and stay tuned with what we're going to do and work as a team together. So thanks, crew.
I'm very sick. My brain power is low. Drugs to get us through today, which makes a cold and flu neuro Panadol, and toilet paper because I need tissues because my nose hasn't stopped running all morning. This is how I confuse it. But as a fellow navvy, he's showing me the ropes.
I get it.
So tell me, what do I need to do? From your experience.
We should
Left 2.
Yep. This one's
complicated. Dad, you're on your own for that one.
I think she'll do really good. I think she likes telling Dad what to do. Her being in the car with Dad, I'm excited about, just for her to pick up a few things that he's doing.
She's got to be on the money because in her head, she's got to be counting down backwards to the corner. So as the speedometer's ticking over, she's got to be looking at that, working out where the junction is and calling it down to me. So, 300 metres, 200 metres, because generally you can't see the actual intersection. as you're coming up to it.
Dan the man has been our saviour through and through last season. Now we've got Jacko in the pits. I think it's actually going to be really beneficial. His knowledge in general is amazing, and the fact to have him there as soon as I come in is going to be a game changer.
Oh, he's a gun. A couple of years he worked full time just building the cars. So once he started his business, then I convinced Dan to come and join the team and work full time to replace Jacko, because Jacko was the man. To have him back on the tools and not racing against him, I think that's pretty cool. If anything goes wrong with the car, we're sweet. We've got Dan and Jacko, nothing's going to go wrong.
Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul.
So, we're at the first main checkpoint here before the team. So we're going to pull out the tool bag, get out some shade, because it's pretty sunny out here. Make sure they roll in, give the car a check over at service, probably refuel, make sure everything's tickety-boo, and then send them back out. And if anyone else needs tools here, we've got this lovely truck full of them to use them and abuse them.
I put my branding on before I put anything else on. I've got KINCROME underwear.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Eden's hilarious. About 3/4 of the time she actually knows where she is on the route chart. The other quarter she's got no idea. She says it, but she's good, she just says it. Dad, I don't know where we are. I'll just follow the track then.
We're basically driving blind. This thing is ridiculous. It's like keep right in 2.6 kilometres, and then yet in the 2.6 kilometres we've got gullies we're going through, we've got rocks are going over. I'm like, they're trying to kill us. My head's throbbing.
You don't sound right.
Nah.
Expectations as a driver for a pit crew, they come straight to the driver, and dads tell them exactly if anything has gone wrong, what's gone wrong, what's happened.
For me, the first thing was they fix everything I wreck on the car. That's the biggest thing. Jacko and Dan work together fantastically and flawlessly, so every time we come in, they spanner check it, make sure everything's still tight. Bloody good pit crew.
I guess the key things that I focus on is utilising your time. In racing, it's all about time. You're racing the clock. If you can do tyre pressures, check your wheel nuts, clean your cameras, get a good look visual over the car, you're going to be a step ahead of the competitors because you're getting the most out of your time, and that's what racing's all about in the end. So yeah, it's basically just time management.
Yeah, just make sure the car's ready to go, I suppose. Just make sure they're alright, that's probably the main thing. Make sure they're comfortable. Like obviously, especially the hot events, do a quick check over the car visually. But to make it so just drivers are comfortable.
We just got a great pit crew. It's just a good fun thing. We're trying to have fun with everything we do, try and enjoy the most of it, and it's just a good team effort.
Yeah, the pit crew, we had a fantastic run. We lost one front wheel, then we lost another front wheel, busted 2 rims and a flat tyre. We've done both CV joints at the front, and the crew's been there to fix every one.
Oh, you wouldn't do it without them. Changing maps, refueling and that sort of stuff. But if something goes wrong with the bikes, some of these guys, you see them, they're pulling wheels off and they're getting them back on the road, the map towers are falling off and they're putting all them back on. So, yeah, you bargain without them.
I can't believe how much wildlife there is. So many kangaroos and emus, and you're in a section that you're doing 130 k's an hour, top gear pinned, and there's a sign about this big, and at 2.5 kilometres there was just cows.
You need your black t-shirt when you service crew, mate.
I thought we were Team Blue.
We are Team Blue.
Team Blue.
Team Blue with a little bit of CV grease.
Service point.
But I think we should leave.
We should definitely leave.
Emergency supplies. Hopefully this is a rally safe situation where it just hasn't loaded, but their dot hasn't moved in, I don't know, 20 minutes. So we're assuming that our team is stuck in the bush somewhere that way. So we're gonna go try and find them, see what's going on, and if they're having a shit one, we've got some goodies.
Yeah, we're
All that good work Eden and I have done, we got to 60 k's in to the third stage. We were having an absolute ball, everything was clicking. Eden has found her rhythm, catching cars and passing them, catching cars and passing them. It was fantastic. The Polaris cried enough, and we had a ball joint that's worn out, and I think the big tyres that we put on might be something to do with it. Yeah, I lost steering, so rather than try to drive the car for the last 8 k's and wreck everything, we stopped straight away, and the boys, hopefully they bring me out some tools and I'll fix it and we'll keep going. We ain't over yet.
At least it's not part of a championship.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the wheel right now, but we're just going to try and finish the stage because we've only got 8 kilometres left. So 8 Ks, get it there, have lunch, fix it, then get back out for the next stage. Good luck, we'll see you soon.
Ball joint failure on the World Wide Web. There's been talk of it, but we hadn't seen one until today. So now I understand why there's talk of it. Look at it, it's a shit ball joint. We've come up with a terrible repair. We almost can't hear the car, which is fantastic news. And it's 100% not going to make it.
A few moments later.
Yeah, come out already.
So remember what I said before? We only made it about 2 kilometres. Maybe not even that far.
We've definitely had worse with the others.
Thought we'd get further than a kilometre.
My nose hasn't stopped running.
What?
Boys here working their asses off trying to fix our car to get us back racing, and Dad's dead asleep, so we're gonna fuck with him. That doesn't wake him up. What? Morning.
Day one, we had a good run, a good clean run off the start, first couple of stages, then we got to stage 3, and I was just building confidence with Eden, probably more than anything, to be honest. Being her first event, really tough, and it was a baptism of fire for her.
Day one, how not to rally and just film me the entire day.
Do you know when he's going to be back next?
I would suspect that he'll be back.
Don't rely on the book, man. Oh, okay.
Well, you look like you're in good spirits. That's important, because that stage can mess with you.
Painful thing, like never ridden with a road book before, so my trip meter stopped working, so I had no idea how far I've gone or anything like that, so all my pace notes were just up the shit, really.
I was like, fuck, you made a mistake, who cares, you can't fix it.
So I ended up just following people pretty much for the whole thing. I could rotate my road book, but I didn't know where I was to have it on the correct distance.
I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad to see your quads in one piece this time.
In some spots are pretty rough. Most of the last two were pretty quick, pretty open when you're like just cruising along in 4th and 5th and whatnot, but then there's just gnarly as rocky sections that you've got to slow down for, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Dan, what's her name?
We're calling her Katana.
What are your thoughts on Dan picking up strays?
It is, he's a big softie, so.
Don't tell anybody that.
He saved the cat's life.
So the last one we did, they made all these changes to the books, and unfortunately we forgot to get our book and change it before we went out, and we just did the first section.
7 instructions to change in that last stage.
Which means?
That's a lot.
What did that mean when we were
We
out
do a
there?
lot of driving around in circles, wondering where the hell we are.
It was a lot of, well, this says we're going left. And you're like, well, the track's going right. Blah,
Follow
blah.
the track. Once we blew 2 belts, it sort of didn't matter that we got lost.
He blew another bell.
Absolutely.
This chopper comes out of nowhere, and then I see it come up next to me, and I look and I see Burnsy just hanging out, and I'm like, oh no, Dad's gonna turn it on now. And exactly what he does. We've just blown a belt. I was like, be careful, we've got 40 Ks to go. He just put foot to the floor and did not hold back.
When I realised that you guys were chasing me for a while, I thought, oh, well, there was some really cool stuff coming up. All of a sudden, the RPM went from 7,000 to 8.5, and I started doing a bit of dancing for you. So
It came and bit us in the arse in about 10 Ks in, because then we blew another belt.
the spare belt that we had in the car, we don't know what it had done. It was literally just one of the old belts lying around in the truck. So yeah, it didn't last long.
It was through all the weird cattle grate stuff. So also, that's the part we didn't have instructions for, so that's why we got a little bit lost through there.
So clearly we're last car on track at the moment.
I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed out.
Pretend like something really intense is happening.
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, 3 minutes, mate. All the best. Keep going.
It's got a fresh belt now, so we'll see if he can keep belting it, which should be able to. Ran the same belt from yesterday. And blew belt, and then I put second-hand belts in because the theory was, there was the theory. It was, if you blew the first belt, the clutches were going to be dirty, and it was like, just nurse it back on the shit belts. But nursing it back is not something that is remotely capable.
He should know better. Dad's never going to turn it down. Ever.
Yeah, we made it. We danced with the patrol for a while.
What about the bees? Someone must have cleaned up the bees and they come in the window and everything.
Well, I stopped. I'm thinking, there's no way we're going through the bees. We went back to that gate, followed it again. It's like, no, it's taking us through the bees.
Bees, they suck. When they get in the car, they get in your suit and then they just sting you, and it's the worst. You feel like you're on fire, so yeah, they're not a good time.
What is rallying? Oh, okay.
Rallying.
Snappy, snappy.
I think we're supposed to follow maps that we don't understand, and we all just get to the end and we all high five at the end. I think that's the goal. So I don't know.
That was one of the most stressful races I've ever had to do. I'm on death row, so I'm probably going to go to bed after this, so I need to lie down because I feel so sick.
It was a day of blowing belts, but to be fair, it was our fault. I broke the car through a dip. We'd lost so much time. We weren't a contender for the race at all. So it was all about finishing the event. One thing we know is we definitely can't extend the life of the belts by any means. Like, one day of racing is more than enough. Rubber goes everywhere, bits of belt go everywhere, and they really affect the way the clutches operate in the cars. Went off to the second last stage, but apparently we ran out of time or something, I don't know, but the officials weren't there.
They were annoyed that the stage got closed on us. Said that shouldn't be happening.
So we turned around, came back. Good thing about the Condo rally, because it's a traditional rally, you can actually skip stages. You just cop a penalty, you don't get excluded from the event, and you move to the next one. And so that's what we did.
Overall, it was quite overwhelming to begin with. I was coming into this quite nervous just because I didn't want to let Dad down. You got that little thing in you that you're like, I really want to impress him that I could do a good job. I think I did all right. I have had a lot of these guys say, Condo for your first one. Interesting choice.
Just over the weekend, the way she attacked the navigating, and she really owned it. She did such a fantastic job. I was really proud of her. I actually don't think she'd want to drive this event. Even though she is a driver, she did say to me, Dad, I'm so glad you're driving.
I never want to drive one of these rallies, ever.
Sort of figured it out, started clicking with the road book. Where the instruction is on the toolbook is like when it's the exact same as at your trip meter and you're seeing the stuff that's written on the road book that's hard to see. It's so satisfying when you get that right. And then I just kept getting flat tyres. Pretty much ripped one tyre open. There was a hole that I could fit my hand in. So maybe it's this one. I have a hole in my tyre. All in all, it was sick. Had good fun. I reckon I'll be back every year, and I don't know, till I'm broke. Can't afford to do it anymore.
I'm definitely going to come back. I've got unfinished business here. Condo's one of those events. You can get the top of the crop And you can get the mum and dads who are just having fun and the core of the sport at the end of the day. And they're all enjoying life and racing cars. And that's one thing I love. And see families doing that, because that's what I do. I don't know, it's just perfect world.